is only war.
Oh my God. This is insane, guys. First off, what's up? 40k dirtbags. We're doing the Grey Knight full review on this video. I apologize if the video is a little bit long. We did Death Guard last night. We did Chaos Space Marines yesterday morning. I'm just trying to go back to back. Next up on the reviews is going to be the Inquisition, going over the Assassins, everything that they can bring. I'm definitely going to be partnering up no matter what the fuck they are, with Grey Knights, bringing an Assassin, maybe an Inquisitor, stuff like that. But today, you guys are clicking on the video because we're going to go over everything about the Grey Knights data sheets and kind of some combos and ideas that we're already thinking about. Then I'm going to make a tactical video for Grey Knights specifically to go over everything that I wrote down so far. I have a whole list of some combos that we're going to be looking for that I'm going to be mentioning sometime in here, but I'm going to do a specific video. So if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you're hitting the subscribe button so these videos actually pop up for you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, go check out some other videos. We've been doing Grey Knights for a long time. We actually placed Grey Knights #1 in the world last season, so I kind of know what to look for, how to play them, how to run them, stuff like that. So once I saw this, I was just super excited to play them again. I was kind of missing playing them at the end of 9th edition. We went to Chaos Space Marines, but now we're going to be kind of switching over to Grey Knights in the beginning of 10th edition. So there's going to be a lot of Grey Knight content coming up on the channel as well. If you guys are interested in competitive play for 10th edition, we do have a competitive dirtbags on Patreon where you guys get to message me one-on-one. We go over tactics, ideas, lists, everything you guys need to do. You get a one-on-one coaching with me. That's on Patreon. Also, I post most of the new videos up on Patreon first, so you guys get the first view before they hit YouTube. So let's get into it. So I'm so excited about going over this. I basically spent the entire morning just reviewing this with all the people on Discord. So if you guys want to go join Discord, go do that. But there's just so much to go over. Most of this we went over with the leaks. I did a leak video. 6,000 of you guys saw that video, so that was awesome. Appreciate you guys. But everybody already knows most of the rules. So we have Teleport Assault. For Strike Force, you get to pick up 3 units at the end of the player's turn, and you basically get to deep strike them outside of 9 inches on the opponent in your reserve phase. So basically every single turn you just get to pick up 3 units. So it's almost like Teleport Strike for free every single turn, which right there just makes us kind of busted. Hopefully we don't get fact or nerfed too hard in 10th edition, because we are literally the fastest 40k army out there right now. So the Teleport Shunt, we were wondering what the hell did we get for just 6 inches for the advance roll. So now there's strats, so you can advance shoot, advance charge with the Dread Knight, stuff like that. So the extra 6 inches is going to make us even faster, and being able to advance and charge out of rhinos for 1 CP, or advance and shoot out of rhinos for 1 CP, or razorbacks or anything like that. It just makes us super fast. I did a tactical video already on the channel, kind of showing the board layout and how we're going to be able to move literally all over the board on turn 1. Just where the fuck we want to go, we're going to be able to go. So that's cool. And then we got our stratagems. So there are only 6 stratagems, which they're trying to reduce everything for 10th edition, obviously. But we have the Radiant Strike. This is going to be good combo with probably Stern, which we'll go over, because you get devastating wounds in the melee phase with your psychic weapons. So in the fight phase, 1 Grey Knight Sacred unit is going to get devastating wounds on their weapons. So all of our weapons, we don't have any hammers, which is sad, but all of our weapons are Strength 6, AB2, 2 damage. So they're going to turn into devastating wounds if you get 6 to wound. We don't have any way to boost that, which is also sad. But devastating wounds, combining that with a Terminator unit, they're going to be able to get exploding 6s and devastating wounds. And then you put them with Stern, and then the devastating wounds are going to go into 3 mortal wounds if you get that 6. So it's a pretty good combo. 2 CP though, it's our most expensive, one of our most expensive strats. I don't know if it's going to be worth as much, just because it's 2 CP and it's not guaranteed. We don't have any rerolls to wound. The only reroll to wound is, I believe, the Dreadnought for once. So it's okay, guys. I just don't like 2 CP strats, especially when we have so many other good strats that are 1 CP. So here we go. Arrival in the movement phase. 1 Grey Knight Sector unit from your army arriving via Deep Strike or Teleport Assault, so one of the 2 abilities that we have. you can actually teleport. We used to have this last codex. You can actually teleport 3 inches, right outside 3 inches of the enemy units. And you can shoot, but you cannot charge. But still, this is a way to kind of block people in the deployment zones. I'm going to do a whole tactical video on this, but you basically spend 1 CP for a 10-man unit to come down and be outside of 3 inches and kind of spread out as far as you possibly can to kind of block them from being in the teleport zone or getting out of the deployment zone. So if you combine this with coming in turn 1 with one of our enhancements, you can basically spend 1 CP, come in turn 1, block the enemy from coming out of their deployment zone, and then if they move within 9 inches of you, you can spend 1 CP and get the fuck out of dodge. So that's what I'm talking about, guys. We're going to be so bullshit insane, it's going to be nuts. So all these strats are going to be again posted in the next video, probably up on Patreon beforehand, but there's going to be a lot of different strats that we're going to have to go over, and you guys are going to have some fun playing around with. I'm going to have some fun playing these as probably going to be testing out at ACO this weekend. So I'm going to be bringing my Grey Knights with my Chaos Space Marine, which I'm playing at ACO, but I'm going to be testing out Grey Knights, probably recording some videos for you guys as well. But Death from the Warp in the movement phase, 1 Grey Knight Psycho unit from your army that either advanced or arrived via Deep Strike for Teleport Assault ability. You can shoot your assault or your psychic weapons turn into assault, or just as range weapons. So your range weapons turn into assault, and add 1 to the hit roll. So basically, if you come in from Deep Strike or the Teleport Assault or Advance, they gain Assault. And you get to add 1 to the hit roll. So basically, you're getting +1 to hit with an Advance and your Assault. So you can Advance, shoot, and get +1 to hit. So this is going to be combined a lot with anything in the army. Your Dread Knight, your Grandmaster Dread Knight, your Dread Knight that can Advance, shoot, and charge for 1 CP. Interceptors getting out of a Rhino, so advancing 18, 19, 20, 21 inches out of the Rhino, getting +1 to shoot, so they shoot, and then they get to move 6 inches afterwards or charge. Yeah, that's going to be... Oh, no, sorry. You can't charge with this unless you're a Dread Knight, sorry. You're a Dread Knight, you can advance and charge, but at least with the Interceptors, you can advance out of the Rhino, shoot, and then move 6 inches again. So advance out, shoot, move back, or advance out, shoot, and move forward, block people being in their deployment zones. Haloed and Soulfire. This is also really good. All of our saves are 2+ now. So 1 unit coming in from Deep Strike or Teleport Assault. Oh, no, sorry, this is the other one. So this is the one where it's 2 CP. If you arrive via Deep Strike or Teleport Assault, you can't be targeted unless you're inside 12 inches. So this is going to be really good for our Grandmaster. Our Grandmaster is just going to be able to kind of hop all over the table every single turn, shoot his weapons, and then for 1 CP instead of 2, because he's the Dread Knight Grandmaster, he's not going to be able to be shot at outside of 12 inches, which is fucking nuts. So this is going to be good for your 10-man Termi bricks, Paladin bricks, stuff like that, but mainly going to be used for probably the Dread Knights or the Grandmaster Dread Knight. I don't really want to spend 2 CP for it, but if I have to, I will. And remember, it's in your movement phase, so you have to do it pre them shooting. If it was during their shooting phase, it would be broken, but this is pre their shooting phase. This one is the one I'm talking about. This is going to be combined with so much shit. So Mist of Deimos, in your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy ends its normal, advance, or fallback move, 1 Grey Knight Psycho unit from your army that is within 9 inches of that enemy unit, that unit can make a normal move up to 6 inches, as if it was your normal move. So you can't end in coherency anymore, but if it has a Deep Strike ability, you can place it into strategic reserve. So I'm thinking, if you do the block thing with the Interceptors, or anything that you want to block the enemy units with, you can then use this to get out of dodge if they move. Yes, they don't have to move, but if they spend 1 whole turn without moving their entire army, that's actually worth it. But if they do move, you can then just kind of pick them up and put them back into strategic reserves, and they walk on from the table edge again next turn. But you can also do this with a charging unit. So let's say your unit comes down Deep Strike with Drago, charges 6 inches, kills a bunch of stuff, consolidates into a couple units. They then fall back, right, getting out of combat. You then spend 1 CP, and now the whole Drago unit is now back, coming in from strategic reserves. So That's actually, and this could be used multiple times. So this is a really, really good stratagem. Oh my god, that's insane. True silver armor is also really good. So this is during your opponent's shooting or fight phase. Just after an enemy unit has selected a target, one Grey Knight unit from your army selected as a target, one or more enemy attacks until the end of the phase. Each time a target worsen the armor penetration character. So all the AP got down in this edition. So now with us being at a 2-up save, you basically ignore anything with AP 2, because if you have cover saves, you have a 2-up save, you basically worsen it by 1 to an AP 1 weapon, and then you have a 2-up save. If it's AP 1, you go down to AP 0. But if it's AP2, is then AP1. If you're in cover, you go down to AP0. So basically, it's going to ignore anything that's AP2 coming into with shooting for 1 CP. Like, it used to be 2 CP for Transhitman or Transhuman. So now they actually buffed it and made it -1 AP. So most of our guys who are probably going to be in cover anyway, because almost everybody gets cover now, you're going to spend 1 CP and that whole unit gets a 2-up save. Great for Terminators, great for anybody with a 2-up save, which, hey, is our entire fucking army now. So those are insane. I love everything. I love everything about this. This is super, super amazing. I cannot wait to put this on the table. These are also really good. I think it's automatically 3 out of 4 of these are going to be in our army. First to the fray, you're able to come in via deep strikes turn 1. It says right here, step on first, second, or third movement phases. So you can come in turn 1. You can do the 1 CP strat where you come in the enemy's movement phase turn 1. So if you have this on a unit and then you spend that 1 CP, and let's say you don't go first, they go first, they're going to do their movement phase. You then spend 1 CP, they then come down turn 1, probably behind a wall or something, and then you can move up and then charge on your turn. So they're probably most likely not going to be charging you because you're going to be coming down, strategically. But if you come down and then they're, right outside 9 inches on your turn, you're going to move up 5 inches with your Terminators and then get a 4-inch charge. So that is fucking deadly. It's not going to be good. So if you have Drago coming in turn 2, right, these guys coming in at the bottom of turn 1. So yeah, it's going to be really good, like automatically charges going out, because Drago's going to come in, you get a 6-inch charge, and then these guys come in, and then you have like basically a 4-inch charge after they move up. Then you can also add one of the charge rolls made for the barrier unit. So you can't have two leaders in a unit with Grey Knights. I wish you could, but being able to put this on a character and you want to have them come in from reserves and have an 8-inch charge or something like that, you can definitely combine this with something. Maybe your Grandmaster, you can have add one of the charge rolls. So now your Grandmaster is going to be able to charge easier. But I think the Sigils are going to be the best one for the Grandmaster. So this could also be on a insane brick unit. If you want to do it for like a Libby unit, put it on Librarian with some Terminators or Paladins. So that way the Librarian can then just get out of dodge if he's targeted at a shooting attack. So once per battle, in your opponent's shooting phase, when a barrier unit is selected as a target, you can then remove the barrier unit from the battlefield and set up anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away, so it's in the same turn. No longer eligible target. They can then select a new target. So this, if it doesn't say can't select as a new target, it's really busted. Chaos Space Marines have some of this where you can't target another unit, but this one says you can target another unit, select new targets afterwards. So it's kind of the same as it was before. Still really good, but it's once per battle. And then this thing is cool if you really want have a really melee beat stick. So I was thinking this on the Brotherhood Champion. Great model only. Each time the bear makes a melee attack, add 1 to the wound roll, so +1 to wound. With the Brotherhood Champion, he has precision. So you're probably going to wound on 3s on most characters, and then now wounding on 2s with precision. And I don't know if he has devastating wounds. He might get full rerolls to wound, something like that. But if it's a demon, add 1 to the damage as well. So your 2 damage now goes to 3 damage. Weapons. So this would be really good if you're facing demons, or if you just want to have a really beat stick Brotherhood Champion, which gives you fight first as well. So that's going to be a really good combo as well. All right, so let's get into it. We already went over Drago. All of these were already leaked ahead of time if you've seen that video. I'm going to be combining Drago because the 4-up Field of Pain against mortal wounds is great. It's going to help with any shit coming in from deep strike, and then they shoot you probably out of line of sight with mortal wounds or something. That's going to help because you have a 4-up save against that. Once per battle, when you declare charge coming in from deep strike or reinforcements, add 3 to the charge roll. So basically you're going to have a 6-inch charge coming in from deep strike. So him with a 10-man Terminator brick or a 5-man Paladin brick, whatever you want to run him with, he's going to be able to come down and just charge for 6 inches. He is a fucking monster. Anti-demon on a 2+, minus 4 AP, 3 damage, strength 8, 6 attacks. And then he's got Anti-Demon Scourging on a 2+. So 3 attacks, strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage, ignores cover. And Rapid Fire Stormbolter. He did lose a damage on the Stormbolter, so it's not Mastercrafted anymore. But he's got 7 wounds. He lost his Invuln save. He has a 4-up Invuln save now. But he's still, you're going to be bringing him for that extra 3-inch charge phase. So it's super aggressive. And then again, you can use the 1 CP strat that we went over to get them out of dodge if they fall back or end a movement within 9 inches of them. So then we got our Grandmaster Voltus. We went over him as well. Subtract 1 from the hit roll. So if you want kind of like more of a shooting unit, you can put him in that unit. He's got a Stormbolter, the Psychic Weapon, Demon Hammer, basically hitting on 2, strength 10, AP 2, 3 damage, which is pretty good. Each time the model unit is selected to fight, this is okay. On a 4 or 5, they take D3 mortals. And then on a 6+, they take D3 plus 3 mortals. So it's like a 50% chance to get a smite off. I don't like it. I don't think it's really worth it. He's probably still going to be on my shelf, honestly. Yeah, so that's Vol's Grandmaster. We were at work asking about him walking. So he has kind of the same thing where once per battle, 1 unit from your army is selected as a stratagem for 0 CP, even if it's already used. So if you have this leading a unit, you can do that 2 CP strat where you can't be shot at outside of 12 inches. That's most likely going to be it. Or the 2 CP strat to countercharge, or the 2 CP strat to interrupt. So like, yeah, that's probably what you're going to be using. Unit from your army, the usability is selected. Targeted by a stratagem for 0 CP. So I think you can use those strats as well. And then while this model is leading a unit, you can ignore any and all modifiers to the characteristics of models in that unit and any roll or test made by models in that unit. So the whole unit is kind of like a walking Morty. So you ignore everything. I think it ignores the minuses to hit, minus the wound, minuses the damage, minus leadership stuff. It ignores basically everything. So this guy is just super boss leader to that unit. So he's not going to be bad to bring. I definitely think, again, bringing Drago, depending on the points, right? The extra charge distance is going to be good. If you want kind of just a sit back and shoot, this guy is going to be beneficial. Him in a Paladin unit, getting 4 side cannons in the Paladin unit, coming down from Deep Strike, getting +1 to hit is going to be cool. Yeah, so him leading a Paladin unit would be really good. Grandmaster Dread Knight, we went over this guy. Once per battle on the fight phase, that he's going to be your monster and vehicle killer. This is once per battle round, so every battle round, not turn or player turn or whatever it may be. So once per battle round, you get to reroll all hits, all wounds, and all damage, which is insane. So he's D6 plus 1 damage. So anything on like 1 or 2s, you're going to be re-rolling. 3s, you're probably going to be keeping. But strength 14, so on the charge, he's going to be spending 1 CP for the tank assault. If you're over the toughness for the strength 14, you get 2 additional dice to do mortal wounds on the charge. 5 attacks, hitting on 4s. And yeah, that's it. So, but 3 rolls to hit and wound is really why he's going to be worth bringing. Because even though he hits on 4s, you're still going to be able to get full rerolls to hit. Each time target the model with a stratagem, it's 1 CP rather than whatever it costs. So everything I just mentioned, anything with 2 CP is going to only have to spend 1 CP. So if you spend 1 CP every turn for him not to be shot at outside of 12 inches, he's going to be almost untargetable for almost the entire game. So you got 2 up, 4 up, 13 wounds, toughness 8, speed 8, and OPSEC 4. So I honestly think he's worth bringing. Crow is insane. He doesn't have a psychic weapon, so this kind of gets around a lot of psychic defense. Some people were mentioning like T-Suns, you can get around that. Custodes, Inquisitors, all that stuff. So Blade of Antoir, such a cool weapon. I'm thinking of so many combinations to put Crow with the Purifiers, putting him in Rhinos, Razorbacks, Land Raiders, Storm Ravens, Reserves, Deep Strike. Like him with a unit is going to be fucking nuts. So toughness 4, 2 up save, 4 up invuln save, wounds 5, 6 up leadership, obsec 1. Purify Flame has 3 shots. He's got a psychic. While this model is leading a unit, add 1 to the attack characteristic of that unit's Purify Flame. So I think he increases himself. So he gets 4 shots, and then the unit gets 2 shots each for the Purify Flame. So think about 10-man Purifiers shooting a Purify Flame 6 inches up from a ruin, shooting down 18 inches. They all have 2 shots each, so it's 24 shots from Purify Flame. Strength 4. I think you can spend 1 CP if they come in from Deep Strike. So they hit on 2s. Anti-infantry on a 2+, you're wounding on 2s. And you ignore cover. And since you're shooting from 6 inches above them, you're actually AP 2. So this is 24 shots. Hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s, AP 2, ignoring cover. And then you shoot all the bolters. If you're within 12 inches, that's 44 shots. Hitting on 2s, wounding on 4s most of the time, who the fuck cares, but AP 1 damage. So he's just going to be mowing down units from 12 inches up, shooting down. And I think you can go up to 8 inches high and shoot down and still be within 12 inches. So that's just insane. Because you can advance and turn your weapons into assault weapons. Is that any weapon, or is that just psychic weapon? It is this one. So until the end of phase, ranged weapons equipped with models in this unit have the assault. So basically any weapon you have, which is the Purify Flame and the Storm Bolters, are now, because they're ranged weapons, are now fucking assault. So they're going to be running up the wall onto the top floor, or deep striking onto the top floor, spending 1 CP, getting +1 to hit, and then being able to shoot and advance. So you don't even have to deep strike them. You just basically fucking run them up. If you do them, if you have Crow and let's say 5 Purifiers getting out of a Razorback, they run up the wall out of the Razorback. Razorback shoots a unit. They then get to reroll all the wounds against that unit. I know they're already infantry, 2+, but if you want to shoot something else, then they get to reroll all the wounds. So that's one of the combos I was thinking about. Once per turn, the first time a saving throw is failed, once per turn, wow. For this model, change the daring characteristic to 0. So it's only for that model. So it's only for him. So once per turn, the first time a saving throw is failed for this model. So it's going to help with precision. He's not going to be fucking picked off too much with precision, which is definitely going to help out. So once per turn. So basically every turn, you're going to be able to turn a damage characteristic to 0, especially with all the precision shots coming out. He does have precision on his sword and devastating wounds. So 5 attacks, hitting on 2, strength 6, AP 2 damage with devastating wounds and precision. So him going into a character unit, being able to just challenge the character. And there is a strat, I think, for challenge. I forget what the hell it was. I have to go back and look at the core strats, but I think precision with him and the Brotherhood Champion is going to be super fun killing characters. And he can only be attached with a Purifier Squad. Brotherhood Captain Stern, he looks really good now. So this is the combo that we were talking about earlier. While a model is leading a unit, each time the model makes a melee attack on a critical wound, the target suffers 1 additional mortal wound. So you combine this with the 2 CP strat for devastating wounds. Every wound that goes through is now going to be 3 mortal wounds in combat. So putting a Dreadnought near that unit, getting to reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound, that's probably going to be worth bringing a Venerable Dread if you're going to combine Stern with that. And this is going to help out with precision as well. First time this model is destroyed, roll 1d6 at the end of the phase on a 2+, set that model back up on the battlefield. So he's going to be kind of very defensive with precision as well. So him and Crow are going to be hard to kill with precision shots. So that's going to be really good to bring. He's just got a 4 sword, basic attacks, strength 6, AP 2 damage, wound 6, which is really good, and T5 2 up 4 up. So I think Crow, or this guy, is going to be good if you're combining him with some units. So you can only be with a Terminator and Paladin unit. So alrighty, we got our Brotherhood Captain. So he gives us sustain hits. So while this model is leading a unit, psychic weapons equipped by models in that unit have the sustain hits 1. So that's for shooting as well. So shooting is going to get exploding 6s. Not a lot of rerolls in Grey Knights, but you can give your side cannon sustain hits 1. So basically, if you have put him in a paladin unit, you can have 2, give him a side cannon, 3 side cannons, exploding 6s. That's 9 shots. 24-inch range. If they're up on top of a building, they're shooting down, it could be 2 damage. And then if he's in combat, he can reroll the wound roll. Each time this model makes an attack with a psychic weapon, you can so he can reroll wound roll with shooting and melee. So you're going to want to roll his shots separately, so that way you know that you can reroll the wound roll against them. So he's not bad. Putting him with a unit of either a 5-man Terminator unit or a 5-man Paladin unit. I think the Paladin just because you want to shoot more. So the 5-man Paladin can bring 2 side cannons compared to the 1 side cannon from the Terminator squad. So having him with 5 Paladins might be beneficial. But 2 up, 4 up, 6 wounds as well. Yeah, so I think Stern is better in melee. He's better in shooting. So not bad. Brother Champion, I think he's fucking awesome. He's got 4 wounds, not a lot of wounds, but 2 up, 4 up. He's got 5 attacks, precision, strength 6, AP 2 damage. And while this model is leading a unit, they have fight first ability. So if they charge you, you're still fighting first because defender goes first. And each time this model makes a melee attack targeting character unit, you can reroll the hit roll and reroll the wound roll. So he gets it, not the unit, but at least him killing some characters, he rerolling hits and wounds is really good. So 2 up, 4 up, 4 wounds. He can lead a purgation squad or a strike squad. Most of the time, you probably have a 5-man strike squad with him because they get pregame move and sticky objectives. So him just kind of camping in the center, be like, all right, come at me, bro. Is going to be really, 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 really good. Libby, we got Vortex of Doom. So the Vortex of Doom came back in the shooting phase. He has precision with this, but this, in the shooting phase, you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches invisible to the Psyker. Roll D6 on a 1, you suffer the Psyker's unit suffers D6 mortal wounds, but on a 2 to 5, they take 2d3 mortal wounds. So it's basically the same. No precision. It just says in the shooting phase, you usually can select one enemy unit. So it's not model, it's unit. And then if you do a 6, they take 2d6 mortal wounds, which is huge. So while a model is leading the unit, that model is a field no pain against psychic attacks on a 4+, which is pretty good. And I like this. So it's a Witchfire, 24-inch range, precision, and hazardous. So it's 1 shot, hitting on a 3, strength 6, AP 2, 3 damage. So you'd be able to just kind of like shoot at a character and do 3 damage potentially to that character. Yeah, that's almost always going to be used, hazardous. So make sure you have some guys to take the hazardous rolls. Anti-infantry, 4+ on the combi weapon, and then he's got 4 attacks, strength 6, AP 1 though. He's kind of shitty. That sucks. Why is he 1 less AP? That's some bullshit. Hitting on a 2 though, that's new, and 2 damage. I guess he's not really made for combat. Toughness 5, 2 up, 4 up. That's good too. All the termies have 4 ups, 5 wounds. So maybe bringing 3 Libbies with 3 Terminator squads or 3 Paladin squads. That's really expensive, honestly. But they come down. That's on 2 up. They take 6d3 mortal wounds, and then you're basically just sniping 3 characters. You have to hit though. On a 3 up, you hit. So not sure if you can increase the hit. I mean, you can for 1 CP, but so maybe you spend 1 CP just for this guy, for that unit, whatever he's in, to get +1 to hit. So yeah, it's not bad. I mean, he's cool. Like, just bringing Vortex of Doom back is awesome. You can actually deep strike within 3 inches now with the CP strat. Alrighty, Tech Marine is gets the same loadout as everybody else. He gains the lone operative if he's within a vehicle, 3 inches, and he gets to buff up a vehicle, add 1 to the hit roll, and he can heal a vehicle for 3 wounds. So him combining with a Dread Knight is good, kind of like a Grandmaster Dread Knight. So the Dread Knight Grandmaster is always hitting on 2s, and then he can never be shot at outside of 12 inches for 1 CP, and then him standing behind that guy, he also can't be shot outside of 12 for 0 CP. So him kind of running around with a Grandmaster can use the teleport assault to basically come up and come down exactly where he is. So that way he's within 24 inches and kind of shooting, whatever he wants to shoot at. Or if he's within 18 inches, he can shoot his flamer and then shoot his side cannon at fucking 3 damage now. So he can also be paired with servitors. So servitors can join a strike squad as well. So if he's a part of a strike squad, and then the servitors can join the strike squad as well. So that's actually a pretty cool combo. Chaplain does not have the leader ability. I'm sure that's a typo, but he should probably be able to only lead 1 unit, but he can add 1 to the wound roll. I was hoping for more from this guy, but everything within 6 inches takes a battle shock, subtract 1 from the test. So basically all of our leadership can go down to essentially a 5 if he's within 6 inches. So I don't think I'm going to be bringing the chaplain in 10th edition as of right now. And that's only for melee. Yeah, so melee attacks. If it was like the shooting, then yeah, 100% I would be bringing them. But melee, probably not going to be bringing them. Brother Terminator Squad, we went over these guys. Each time the model in the unit makes a charge move until the end of the turn, melee weapons equipped by this model have the lethal hits ability. So you put a 10-man unit with Drago, they charge within 6 inches, they all get exploding 6s. Add a banner, they're OBSEC 3 per model, which is going to be stealing a shit ton of objectives. And then in the command phase, if you have an apothecary, essentially, you get to bring 1 guy back every single command phase. So I think a 10-man paladin unit hitting on 3s, 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 6, AP 2 damage. I'm going to put all my falchions on all my guys because they're all the same now. There's no hammers, sadly, in Grey Knights, it looks like. But maybe bringing incinerators just so they can deep strike, shoot 2 incinerators, or side cannons if you really want to. So side cannons or incinerators if you really just want to do both. Probably incinerators, because then you can use that for teleport or for Overwatch if you really want to. Yeah, it's going to stop some like clowns and stuff charging you. Ignores cover, 2d6, strength 6, AP 1 damage. I'm talking about a 10-man unit. And then that's it. So you bring 10 Terminators. Strike squads are fucking nuts. So they have a Scout 6. I did not know we were going to get Scout. I did not know if we needed it, but this just boosts our threat ranges even more. So you can have a couple 5-mans walking up pre-game Scout moving. You can put them in a Rhino. So the Rhino moves up 6, and then they get out 9. They can advance and shoot if you really want to. Teleport assault, they have a ritual. So if you control the objective marker, it becomes sticky objectives. So if you control the objective marker at the end of your command phase, so if they're going to get the Scout move 6, hopefully they get on some objectives. Now those objectives are sticky, so then they can kind of get teleported off the objective and go somewhere else. Yeah, these guys just simple 5-man units, kind of just doing whatever the fuck you want to do. They're 2 up safe, OBSEC 2, move 6. Like they're just good. Yeah, they're just great. So you can bring, I think, 1 weapon. Yeah, 1 weapon in each 5-man squad, which most of the time you're probably just going to bring a incinerator just for the flamers. Then we got our paladin boys. Everybody was hoping that these guys would be fucking broken, but I don't think broken enough. So the only difference is they hit on 2s in combat. They have the same amount of attacks. So I think they actually lost an attack. AP 2 damage, but they hit on 2s in combat. They shoot on 2s as well, so the ballistic skill is 2. That was an increase. Each time an attack targets this unit, if the strength is higher than 5, so 6 or higher, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So that makes them pretty tanky, having a 2 up, 4 up, and -1 to wound if your strength 6 or higher. So most of the time they're only going to be wounding on 3s if they're strength 10. So that's pretty good. Having a 2 up, 4 up. Add 1 to the objective control, so they're going to go up to OPSEC 2 if you bring a banner. If you do bring a banner, they can still, I believe, have a weapon. 2 paladins can have their storm bolters for every 5 man, so you can have 4 side cannons in a unit, 4 incinerators in a unit. 1 paladin equipped with storm bolter and nemesis force weapon equipped with 1 Asian banner. That model's storm bolter is placed with one of the following. Wait, so 1 paladin equipped with a storm bolter and force weapon can be equipped with 1 ancient banner. So does he still have the... I guess he does. So he still has the weapon and storm bolter, and you can increase that storm bolter to be another weapon as well. Wow. Okay, so you can have 3 fucking heavy weapons per 5. So I think having this guy with the 1 brother captain sustain hits, hitting on 2s, exploding 6s would be really good. So that's 4 side cannon shots. 1, 2, 3, 4 side cannon shots coming in, exploding 6s, hitting on 2s for everybody. Wow, that's actually a pretty good unit. Yeah, that's actually a really good unit. So Paladin Squad, I mean, I don't know how much the points it's going to be. If they're 50 points each, that's 250 plus upgrading one of them to the banner. That's probably another 25 points. So you're looking at 250, 275 points, not including the upgrades if they're not free or not. So you're looking at probably around 300 points for that squad. Plus the Brotherhood Captain was probably another 120 points. So that's an expensive fucking squad, but they're going to be able to shoot really well. And be OPSEC 2. And -1 to hit back. Or -1 to wound to hit back. You can't bring them back, so you can't bring an apothecary in the unit, which I was kind of bummed about. But knowing that you could have 3 fucking side cannons in 1 unit is really, really good. And they still keep their weapons. I'm wondering if you have 3 incinerators in a unit just coming down, burning 4 fucking D6, -1 damage, strength 6. If you shoot from below, wow, yeah. If they're shooting from atop a building, right, they're -2 damage, exploding 6s, hitting on 2s. So I think deep striking them on top of a building and then just shooting down is going to be the way to go. 24 inches away. Okay. Shit, can he do anything else besides that? Now I'm thinking, like, what else can he do? So that's the sustain hit guy. This guy. So sustain hits, and that's it. So he can reroll the wounds by himself, but he gives out sustain hits. If you put him with a Grand Master, you can use a CP for 0, so they can't be shot back. And you ignore all hitting. So you ignore all the modifiers if this guy is leading the unit, but you lose the sustain hit. So I think I'm going to bring the sustain hits instead. So hitting on 2s, sustain hits. If you have a Venerable Dread near you, you reroll 1s to hit and wound. Yeah, I think having 1 Venerable Dread just in the army is going to be a good idea. Okay, now let's go over our Purifiers. Purifiers get Purify Flame for 1 shot, hitting on 3s. If you do the advance and shoot thing, you can spend 1 CP to hit on 2s. Turns this into an assault. Anti-infantry 2+, ignore cover. So these guys with Crow, they get 2 shots each. And then their Storm Bolters, they get 2 shots each. If they're within 12 inches, they get 4 shots each. So these guys are going to be pretty good shooting units. If you're bringing incinerators with them, you get to put 2 weapons in a squad. So you're going to be able to shoot the 2 heavy weapons and their Purify Flame at the same time. They get to turn into advance if you advance them. So really good. Each time the model makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll to the unit below starting strength. So if any one of them die, you add 1 to the wound roll if the unit's at below half strength. So these guys are really deadly if you kill. So let's say the starting strength is 5, 6. So if 3 of them, you have to be below starting strength. So only 2 left, really? Yeah, so probably 10 of them would be good. Each time the model in the unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. If that unit is below starting strength, add 1 to the wound roll. Is below starting strength, add 1 to the wound roll if the unit is below half strength. So if Crow's leading them, that's now a 11-man unit. So if you kill 6 of them, there's 5 left. That would be reroll hits and wounds. So once you get down to 5, you're going to be able to get +1 to hit and reroll and add 1 to the wound roll. So that's fucking deadly. Yeah, so I think having a 10-man Purifier squad with Crow is definitely going to be in a lot of lists. Just being able to shoot both these at the same time with +1 to hit. God, +1 to hit the entire, like the rest of the game if one of them dies. 2-up save, no invuln save. Pretty good weapons. Yeah, these guys are nuts. Yeah, really, really nuts. Servitors. These guys get +1 to their melee and ballistic skill, so they hit on 4s to shooting, hit on 5s in combat, but if they're with a tech priest, they hit on 4s in combat and hit on 3s to shooting. So you can bring them with plasma cannons. It's a unit of 4, and the biggest thing I noticed was they actually gained movement 6. So they were speed 4, now they're speed 6. That was the first thing I noticed. That's like the shit that I fucking think about. What's their movement speed now? So they're speed 6, so they're going to be keeping up with the tech priest. They're going to provide, bodyguard for the tech priest. The tech priest unit can't be shot at if they're within 3 inches of a unit. So these guys could be just sitting invisible, shooting, I think, 2. Yeah, 2 plasma cannons every single turn, or 2 heavy bolters. So if they're just, I think it's plasma cannon's heavy, so they're going to be hitting on 2s. Did nobody think about this? So plasma cannon, blast, hazardous, but who the fuck cares? They are 36-inch range. If they don't move, they're hitting on 2s because they're BS 3, and then now they go to BS 2, strength 8, AP 3, 2 damage. And they're not going to be shot at because they have fucking lone operative. Or is lone operative only by himself? That's a great question. So if he is by himself, does he get lone operative? I mean, that makes sense, right? Where's our tech priest? Tech priest right here. All right. So while this model is within 3 inches of one or more friendly Grey Knights vehicles, unless it's leading a unit, this model is lone. All right, so never mind. It's not as busted, because that would be pretty fucking funny. Yeah, so to have a tech priest by himself would be better than these guys just kind of. I mean, are they going to shoot at them? They probably will if they have fucking 2 plasma cannons just hitting on 2s from 36 inches away. I mean, not bad. It's something to try out, right? If it's cheap, it's definitely something to try out. Give me free fucking plasma cannons on these guys. That'd be insane. AP4 shooting down from 36 inches away. They gain the deep strike ability as well. So not bad. And here's our Venerable Dread. So he lost hitting on 2s, so he hits on 3s now, which kind of sucks. Speed 6, I thought they'd increase his speed somewhat. 2-up save, no invuln save. Wounds 8, OBSEC 3. While friendly Grey Knight infantry, they changed that as well. Within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, we roll a hit and wound roll of 1. So that's really good. Depending on the points for this guy, I think having him coming in from reserves when you deep strike somebody near him, they're going to be able to kind of get +1 to hit and wound. I'm sorry, reroll 1s to hit and wound, and then you can just make them a gun platform if you want to keep them in the back. But comboing this guy with 10 purifiers and Crow, everybody being able to hit on 2s if they advance or come in from deep strike, rerolling 1s to hit and 1s to wound, wounding infantry on a 2+. That is a deadly fucking unit right there. So he's not bad, right? He's good to buff and get our rerolls for the army, for infantry at least. Interceptor squad, these guys are just broken. Not broken. I can't say broken. They're very good. In the shooting phase, and again, they have fly, but they don't have the jump infantry keyword. Right? So I think since they're infantry, they can go into Rhino still and get that extra 3-inch charge. So having these guys in a Rhino, they hop out 15 inches and then they can charge, or they can advance, shoot, and charge for 1 CP. They advance 18, so it's 15 plus 6, 21 inches out of the Rhino, and then they move in another 6 after they shoot. So being able to kind of put a 10-man intercept squad in a rhino, hop out, 21 inches, shoot, and then move up an extra 6 inches to block the enemy in their deployment zone. And then if they end their movement within 9 inches of you, you can spend 1 CP and hop them back into reserves. So pretty good. They get an extra 6-inch move, or they just move out, shoot, and move back 6 inches behind cover. So they can basically advance auto 6, so they're advancing 18 anywhere, even if they're not in a rhino. And then they can shoot and then move an extra 6 behind cover again. So then next turn you just kind of keep doing it again. So these guys are just going to be fucking flying all over the table. But I might put a weapon in my squads. I never had a weapon incinerator or interceptors before. I just kind of launch them out of rhinos and be like, all right, go kill something. Which again, they're still going to be able to do that. They just don't have as much buffs. So they used to have 1 CP strat to reroll hits and wounds of 1 for Prescient. They don't have any rerolls from Drago, so they're kind of just going off, and hopefully they can kill something now from 15 inches away. So it's still really good, but you might kind of change it up to be more of like a move, shoot, move kind of unit, and get into table quarters. Purgation squad, super good to win over these guys. They gain indirect fire if somebody else in the army sees the unit that you're trying to shoot. So I think having 4 incinerators, having them deep strike, they can deep strike on top of the building 6 inches up and still be within 12 inches to shoot. So that's basically 4d6 shots, automatically hitting, strength 6, AP 2 now if you're shooting down, ignoring cover. And then, since they have the indirect fire, if they come and charge you, you can actually still shoot the indirect because you're shooting as if it was the shooting phase. So in your shooting phase, again, it kind of combis. So the Overwatch strat with these guys are going to be really, really good. Automatically hitting. And if these guys get out of a Razorback and the Razorback shoots something that they also want to shoot, they get full rerolls to wound. That's a really good combo as well. So you can put side cannons if you really want on these guys. You can put incinerators if you really want on these guys. I think having 2 or 3 of these guys in your army is going to be clutch. I know a lot of people on the Discord were posting videos of them already having, I think 15 of these guys already weapons kitted out, but you can bring 4 of the heavy weapons with them in each squad. So Nemesis Dread Knight, one of the only models in the army that can advance and charge. So this model is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in which it advanced. So if you want to, you can auto advance 6. So he's moved basically 14. So you advance 14. You can still shoot your weapons, and then you can still charge. So this guy has a 14-inch move and then charge. Fucking nuts. You're fly as well because you gain the keyword when you advance. So you're flying over or through models or whatever the hell you want to do. So you're basically just flying over shit. You don't ignore the height and stuff from ruins, but at least you can fly kind of up onto a building or onto a ruin and then charge as well. So these guys are going to be insane. They have a 2 up, 4 up. I'm thinking probably putting the incinerators on them because they shoot 18 inches. So 14, 18, that's 20, 32-inch threat range for their flamers. The side cannons, hitting on 3, strength 10, AP 1, 3 damage. You can use the advance to kind of run up a building if the base is big enough to land on top of the building. So if you're landing your base on top of a building, if it's big enough and you're shooting down because you gain the advanced keyword, so you're just measuring 14 inches up. And again, if you can land on the top building, if the base is big enough, you can then shoot down. And then if you're shooting down 18 inches, it's 2d6 auto hitting, ignoring cover, AP 2, 1 damage, and the silencer or side cannon is AP 2, 3 damage, 6 shots. So you can spend 1 CP to get +1 to hit if you really want to. Or you can just kind of put a silencer and side cannon and do the same strat where they get to shoot down AP 1 on the silencer and then AP 2 on the side cannon. So I'm going to bring hammers on all my dreads. I'm not going to even look at the sword profile. I think the hammer is the way to go. They can spend 1 CP for tank assault, doing mortal wounds on the assault. So these guys are going to be fucking quick. They're going to be getting in combat and then just kind of shooting and killing everything all over the place. So Dread Knights, I think, are still key. Land Raiders are optional. I think if you're going to run a lot of infantry and dread knights and a venerable dread in the army, I think your army is going to be really good. If you want to do more tanky and vehicles, you can run the Land Raiders. I'm probably not going to be running Land Raiders starting off. I might, just to kind of get some test runs going, but they did gain the assault ramp, so you can move them up 10 inches, you get your guys out 3 inches and then charge. So all of your guys basically have a 13-inch movement and then charging. But we still can bring the Crusader. So the Crusader was the biggest one. You can hold 16. You can hold 16 Grey Knights in the Crusader. So you can basically put a 10-man interceptor squad in if you really want to. You can put a 10-man and then a 5-man per gate. Like, you can basically put a lot of guys in this Crusader. If you want to go more Terminators or Paladins, you are doing basically 8 Paladins, or 7 Paladins, and then Drago, or 7 Paladins, a Grandmaster, 7 Paladins, Libby, 7 Paladins, whatever, 7 Terminators, whatever. So you can put 7 Terminators and a Terminator leader in a Land Raider Crusader. So that way he's moving up 10 inches, they get out 3, and then they can charge. You can get the +1 charge on one of your leaders, so that way you get an extra charge, or +1 of their charges coming out of the Rhino. So whatever your melee threat is going to be out of this Land Raider, you're going to kind of combine that with this. So toughness 12, super tanky, 2 up, no invuln save, but 16 wounds, 5 obsec, and a whole bunch of just weapons to boot. So I'd probably be running the Land Raider Crusader just so I can fit as many models in that as possible. You can use it as kind of like a platform for your other squads to be in there. So if you want 3 5-man units or 1 10-man Purifier unit with Crow, that's 11 guys, you can then still fit another 5-man unit in there. Maybe a 5-man Purgation squad, 5-man another Interceptor squad, whatever it may be. So you can basically combine 1 10-man with a leader, and then 1 5-man coming out of this Land Raider. So you can also move it, and they can get out and shoot and charge. So that's actually a really good combo as well. So a Land Raider Crusader with 10 Purifiers. Oh, fuck, maybe you just go to the Banisher. The Redeemer we still have. So the Redeemer has speed 12. You can hold 12 guys? 14 guys. Wow, that's still really good. So 14 guys in here, so you can do... what do we got? We got a 10-man Purifier squad with Crow. That's 11, 12, 13, 3. I don't think we can fit 3 guys in there as well. Maybe a Tech Priest. Tech Priest just kind of chilling along, getting in there. He, in the command phase, lets your Land Raider hit +1. He then hops in. But I mean, the auto-hitting flame cannon is kind of why you're bringing this. But at least the Twin Assault Cannon is going to be hitting on 2s. The Storm Bolter is hitting on 2s. The Multi-Mill hitting on 2s. Yeah, so that might be a really good combo. Or, again, you just kind of put the +1 to hit on the Crusader and then have 15 guys. Yeah, so let's do that. We're doing a Tech Priest, Land Raider Redeemer. Land Raider Redeemer moves up 10 inches. The guys then can get out 3. They can then shoot, and then they can charge afterwards. Nuts. So it's a 13-inch threat range, plus the charge. Not bad. And this fucking flamer, it's 12-inch flamer, ignores cover, strength 6, AP 2 damage. So just going to be killing some shit as well. D6 plus 3, 2 D6 plus 3, 2 D6 plus 6 shots. Is a lot of shots with all the other shit coming in as well. Yeah, so this guy's pretty good. So Land Raiders, if you really want to run them, I'd probably go with those. Rhino is going to still be clutch. You have the fire deck too, so you can shoot 2 models out of the fire deck. Psychic weapons do count, so you can shoot psychic weapons and guns. So if you have like purifiers in here, you can move the Rhino up and then shoot out of there without leaving the Rhino. Remember, if the Rhino does blow up though, you do take automatic, I think, battle shock. So you don't count as being OBSEC or anything on there on the objectives. And you can't use strats. So like if you're going to run the Rhino, you can always just put it behind a wall and use it as a launching platform for your interceptors. It still works for the interceptors. You can do it for the purifiers, whatever it may be. So that is still good. Speed 12. So they can basically move 12, get out 3, so 15-inch movement and then shooting as well. Because you can now move the vehicles and get out and shoot. So 10-man Purifier with Crow and the Rhino, because you can add 12 models in the Rhinos now. So being able to have a 15-inch movement and then like an 18-inch threat range with your Purify Flame. I keep saying Purifies because they're probably the best shooting unit we have, honestly, right now. So that's going to be a good combo. Razorback is insane. Somebody asked, are you bringing a Razorback? And I said, fuck yeah. Speed 12. So this guy can basically move 12 inches, deposit a unit inside of it. It can hold 6 models. So you're basically bringing like 5 Purifiers and Crow, or 5 Purgation Squad with a leader or a Tech Priest or whatever the fuck it may be. Actually, a 5-man with a Tech Priest would actually be pretty legit. So the Tech Priest basically gives it +1, hops in. Next turn you won't be able to get +1, but still this turn you'll get +1 to hit. It then moves up 12. The guys then get out 3 inches. If the Razorback shoots something, if it scored 1 hit each time a friendly model disembarked from this transport, this turn makes attacks against an enemy unit reroll the wound roll. So just straight up full rerolls to wound. So I'm thinking like the Flamers getting out, or the Purify Flames rerolling the wounds. It's basically all wounds to shooting. So whatever the fuck you want to kill, the Razorback's going to help you kill that. That's going to be fucking deadly. And I'm thinking if you combine this with them going up a level, so if the guys are inside and then you kind of advance up out of the Razorback, let's say you spend 1 CP, you get +1 to hit, and you auto advance with fly, so you kind of just hop on top of the building. The Razorback then peeks his head out, shoots something, then whatever the unit that's shooting as well is going to be able to get full rerolls to wound. Yeah, and you probably don't need the Dreadnought with this, but the Razorback combined with units kind of just doing this every single turn is going to be really good. Kind of just rotating. So one unit flies down into the Razorback, one unit flies out of the Razorback, and then again the other unit flies out, that one flies in, and you just kind of keep rotating every single turn. And you can put a Twin Assault Cannon just to get the most shots out of it. So it's devastating wounds, but you get 6 shots. I think it only has 1, or the Heavy Bolter. Yeah, so Twin Heavy Bolter has 3 shots. So you either get 3 chances to hit something or 6 chances to hit something. 24-inch range though. Twin Last Cannon is just 1 shot, so you better fucking hit. And then I guess you have the Storm Bolter as well. So if the Storm Bolter hits it, or one of these heavy weapon hits it, then you're good. So yeah, I definitely think Razorback is something to look into. Plus it still has the transport capability, so you can actually put this as a scout move. So if the strikes are in there, you get to scout move this up 6 inches turn 1. So that's pretty good. I looked at the Interceptor Stormhawks, but I wasn't really super thrilled about them. I mean, they can go into hover mode, so that way the line of sight, you still need to see them. You can't see them from behind the ruins and stuff. They have a 20+ inch movement. They add 1 to the hit roll against any fly models. There's going to be a lot of fly models in the game. So you can use these guys to kind of kill vehicles. Or if you want to do this one to kill infantry, you can put the frag missile on there, or the heavy bolter on there, and the missile launcher. Yes, so it's this one. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, it's up to you. I don't own any of these guys. I've never used them before, but you can use one kind of to help kill other flyers, or you can get one to just kind of help kill the flying jump back infantry. They shoot pretty far. They're really quick. Their toughness 8, so they're probably going to die. 10 wounds, 3 up save, no invuln save. So I'd rather spend my points to do the teleport shenanigans that we have. Land Raider or Storm Raven is -1 damage now, which is pretty cool. A lot tankier. Its toughness 10, 14 wounds, 3 up save. and -1 damage. So you can bring basically all this shit into the Storm Raven. It holds 12 models, I believe. 12 infantry and a Venerable Dreadnought. So if you use this guy to kind of drop off your Venerable Dreadnought, this guy can then move up 20 inches, drop off a Venerable Dread, and then drop off a 12-man unit, like let's say Interceptors, or I'm not Interceptors, Purifiers. They can't charge, but you can still move 20 inches, get into range of something, drop your guys off, drop off the Venerable Dread, and then they get to reroll ones to hit and wound. So combining the Venerable Dread with this guy, you get how to use it as a kind of delivery system to kind of get them out and then deliver them to something. You can also combine this with Purgation Squads, fly the Storm Raven gunship behind a ruin, drop off the Purgation Squad, drop off the Dreadnought. They can't shoot you, but the Purgation Squad can still shoot out. The Story Raven hopefully can shoot something else that it can see, but at least the other threat on the other side of the ruins can't see the Storm Raven shooting through it, because if you put it in hover, which most of the time you're probably going to put it in a hover mode. So depending on the points, this was 260 points in 9th edition with all free war gear. Hopefully it's around the same, because if it is, then I'll probably bring this over a Land Raider. To do kind of like the same strat. This, you're bringing it because you're already adding the Venerable Dread in it. And it can be, set behind a ruin so you can't shoot at it. And that's the last thing. So holy shit, guys, what do you think? There's a ton to go over here. There's a lot of different strategies. Again, I started writing down a lot of different tactics. We already went over a bunch of them, but I'm going to go over more in depth with a map up, so that way we can kind of put the models and see where they're at. I might actually do, the overhead view in the garage to kind of show you more in depth, more in detail, where you're going to be setting all these guys up. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. Are you super excited as much as me? Join the Discord. If you're interested in the competitive dirtbags, join Patreon. You get to message me one-on-one. I'm going to ACO this weekend, so if you guys are there, definitely come up and say hi. I'll give you one of our limited edition dirtbag dice. Dirtbag dice are up for sale. It's got the Grey Knight logo on it. They're $1 each. They're up over on Discord. We have the objective markers. 3D6 Wargaming is sponsoring us, so you get to pick your own 6 objective markers with any of the logos we have available, and stickers, so you guys can buy some stickers as well. I'm super fucking pumped. I'm going to be testing these guys in ACO. Can't wait to do it. I'll probably make a quick list, post it up on Discord. But yeah, this is fucking nuts, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having the channel grow so fucking much. It is picking up a lot of steam. Goals to get up to 5K by the end of the summer. And $500 for the Patreon a month, so that way we can travel more and get the upgrades we need for the channel. So appreciate it, guys. Good luck, and we'll see you in the tactical video soon.